mothering is close to each and every one of our hearts, and we want you to, I think it kind of like, has anybody here felt like a failure in their mothering? So it's across the board, but you're doing a good job, so we want to encourage you, okay? So what I'm going to ask each of us to do is just right now say our name and Susan. I have 4 kids, and they are beautiful. Victoria is a senior, so she's 17. David is a sophomore, he's 15. Kate is an 8th grade. She is, what else is that? 13. And Jonathan is 11. See, I still have mom brain.
I am Shishi Joyner. I have 3 children. At one time they were 1, 3, and 5. And they are now 19, 21, and 23. And my 23-year-old is engaged. So I also have Alec, because she doesn't come without him ever.
Hi, I'm Lynn. I have 4 plus 5 children. My oldest is 31. He's married to Mai, so that makes my 5th. Lenny's 28, Hannah's 25, and Rosa Reese is 21.
Hello. My name is Florence Casper, and I have 2 boys. They're 25 and almost 24. And a future daughter-in-law, Michael, my oldest, is getting married next September. So I have always wanted 4 kids, so I always figured that once I got married, I'd have 4 kids.
Oh, that's sweet.
Florence is on. Hello, I'm Tracy Shaw. I have 6 kids. 1 stepdaughter that's 32, and then so you know Jamie, she's
Forever.
And I have 4 boys, 27, 24, 20, and 14. I also have Nick Tebow, my son-in-law, who I love dearly.
Aww.
Hi, I'm Lydia Wolf, and I have 2 boys, 16 and 18.
I'm Renee. I have 5 kids. I'm Hannah, who's 24, and I have my gift son-in-law, Seth.
Kate is 22, and I'm going to have another son-in-law in May, Austin.
I have 2 grandsons.
Also with Emma. And then Claire is 17, in Victoria. And then I have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old also, a boy and a girl. So I have all girls, but I have 1 boy. 5 men. Well, today we're just going to ask some questions to these moms. So I'm going to start with Flo, first of all. We'll put
Flo.
you right on the spot, right away. So these questions came from a lot of our leadership team and a lot of our moms out here that they kind of just had questions that they wanted to, tap into your wisdom and just kind of see what you guys had to say. So our first question is, how do you keep the spark alive in the season with littles? How did you do that?
We sing it.
If your kids
Talk in the mic.
That's right. Sometimes you have to do that. You know what? When my kids were little, we were very fortunate to have grandparents, close by. My parents and Kenny's parents, and I always really wanted them to have a good relationship with their grandparents. So I encouraged them to do sleepovers, and secretly it was giving Kenny and I some time together. So we were fortunate that way. And also my brother had kids the same time I did. So we had 5. My parents had 5 grandkids. So we would swap back and forth. So if you don't have parents, a friend, a brother or sister, do the swap thing where they watch the kids one weekend and you watch it, another weekend, and then you have time for yourself. You gotta have that time with your husband
options when money is tight and your time is very limited?
When money is tight and time is limited, options for
I would say just Christmas, in general, dating your husband, or just like, gathering your children together. What are some fun things that you can create memories?
I didn't have Pinterest, and I was raising my kids, so I had to be creative, and I'm not a creative person. Well, a little bit I am, but not a kid creative. So really just about, the joy is in really getting outdoors. Some people hate outdoors, but just as soon as you walk outdoors, it's so freeing. And also simplicity, creativity. One time money was real tight, and my daughter was just at the age where she realized her friends were going on spring break, and we weren't, because actually at that time I was a single mom with 4 kids, so money was quite tight. And I constantly reminded myself that God provides all. He is a provider of all. He provides all of your needs. And so I've got kids that want to go on spring break, and I couldn't even drive to Ohio, so I told them, your friends get to go on spring break, but they're just going to a state, Florida, but you're going to go to another country. And so I drove over the Ambassador Bridge. Went through the drive-thru, which was special in all in itself.
The joys of living in Michigan.
The joy. Oh, joy. Keep it joyful.
That's so great. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I love that. This next question is for Shishi. There she is. Shishi, what would you say, what life skills would you say are at the top to develop your children? What would you say life skills would be
Life skills to develop,
that you really want
to love the
Get it.
Lord first, to have their own relationship with Jesus would be the top life skill. And then to be self-sufficient. Susan always says you're launching your children, and the goal is to have them on their own, to not be with you all the time, 24 hours a day. So Jesus first, and then to be on your own, to independence.
Lynn, what would you say to that? Would you say anything in addition to that?
I think love is so important, and forgiveness in the family, because there are going to be times that you get upset with your husband, you get disappointed with your kids, and man, if we're not showing mercy in our own family. So we even had a little thing going on. My son got upset with us on Thanksgiving. He's 31. And we had to sit down and talk it out and say, okay, this is my perspective. What's your perspective? We forgive each other. Come at it. And they're going to see you modeling that now when they're little. And you've got something going on with your husband. They sense that, And so forgive each other. Submit to one another in love. Because you're all on the same team. So I found love and mercy. Don't go to bed angry, that's solid advice. And one thing I often prayed for when my kids were little, and now I'm seeing the fruit of it, is that they would stay friends for life. My kids really, besides little basic scuffles normally, if you have in the bathroom or whatever, but now as young adults, they are all really good friends. So, just that base of honesty, love, and forgiveness carries through.
That's awesome. Susan. Yes. You can totally keep your mic on. Is it on?
I turned it off,
Oh,
but
it's
now
on.
it's on again.
Good. Yes.
Okay.
Susan, what are some Christmas traditions that you've infused in your family to keep Christ alive throughout this
Listen,
season?
I have 4 kids, so I don't get to do all the things that come to my mind. But there is a book by Lisa Welchel, and I forgot to look up the title, but she has the coolest, it's like looking at the Christmas tree, okay? So it's a triangle. So you say, we're supposed to love God with all our hearts and love our neighbors as ourselves, the triangle, so it spreads out this way, it points to Jesus. Isn't that cool? And then there's also the giving manger. I saw somebody posted it on our page, which is really cool. But if you don't want to purchase it, I just used our manger set and so cut up pieces of paper with the straw for the hay. And when they display kindness, they get to put a piece of straw for baby Jesus to lay in. And baby Jesus comes into the manger on Christmas morning. So, but really, you guys, I know it's busy in your house, and so, don't be hard on yourself. Just, if you are, find what gives you joy. I think that's such a crucial thing, because your kids really are feeding off of that. You do set the temperature in your head, and so be joyful.
Renee, do you think that you could share something that you've infused in your family over the years? Especially, with littles and then littles again, how you keep it all kind of running smoothly with that age gap too?
We don't keep it running.
Yes.
I would say I agree with Susan. I think joy, and I think serving during those seasons, even all the seasons, and traditions, and making maybe some of your traditions about serving, because it doesn't really, you can do that, and look for the little things, like don't, Susan's right, you can't, you are busy, there's so much going on, there's so much expected of you, we've talked about that in meetings before, so just be in the moment, and look for things in the moment, and not worrying about the big things that you had planned to do. Sometimes they're right in front of you and you miss it, you don't want to miss it, because you're so focused on the big things, but I think really make it about serving, because that's ultimately what Jesus did for us, and they'll see that. Susan's right.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Well, I really love
I know.
I think, when I grew up, it was dinner around the table. And so I just want to encourage you with dinner around the table, because one of the most powerful things that you have right now is being at the beginning of mothering. Because we have teenagers or older, 30-year-olds. it's when you start these things, I think that dinner around the table, come to the table, this table is special, use your table. It's just my one thing.
And they're always hungry.
They go for the food.
Lydia, we have the hockey moms representing up here between Flo and you and I. We always run into each other at the hockey rink. My son plays before her son plays, so it's like 10 o'clock at night where I'm leaving and she's coming.
I know the lead time.
Yes, you do. So, okay, I'd love to tap into your wisdom on this. How do you teach your children to be joyful when maybe you're in a season where their dad isn't so joyful? We have a lot of, the holidays bring out, the dads solely sometimes are responsible financially, and they carry a lot of baggage too, having to hold down an entire family. What would you say is your job when you're trying to keep your joy alive with your children when things aren't always joyful in your home?
I can approach that from two aspects. So, before I got divorced, I'm a single parent now. There was tension between us. So, I felt like I was coming to the Lord in that time, and I feel that instead of focusing on what I wasn't getting from Him or what we weren't getting from Him, trying to focus on what was happening, why was He so miserable, and just keep doing the things that brought us joy, and not trying to keep saying what's wrong. Try to draw Him in by our joy, in those times. And then, he did leave, so it was helpful for my children to be around my family. And not everybody has a close family like I do, but God always brings friends or people in your life that are like family, and your children will need it if you are a single parent. It's important for them.
Okay, well, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Lynn. Hi. Oh, good. You already have a mic. Look at that.
Sing now.
Yes, ma'am. Look at this challenge that we have up here. Karaoke. That's right. Karaoke on the spot. Although Lynn's totally game.
Scary.
Yeah. Lynn, what do you think helped discern between when to sacrificially say yes and when to wisely say no to your children?
I struggled with that. I still struggle with that. Yeah, it's a hard question. You know, you're so super busy, you've got all these little kids demanding you physically, and your husband comes home at night and he wants a hug, and you're like, I've had enough. And, you know, I am a woman who likes to have some sense of cleanliness and order, but that doesn't always happen. And I'll be honest, I wasn't always the best to let that go. Sometimes I'd be like, we're coming to church to serve. And I'm like, we're all screaming in the car. You know, it's the joy of the Lord. Anyway, back to the question. No, there was a time, and I kind of written these gals about it. It really kind of woke me up. I still have 4 kids, but I had 4 kids, like between 10 and 4, so it was a little more relatable to maybe some of the ages you were at. And my mom was handicapped, and she lived with us, and I got bent out of shape about just some basic, I don't even remember what it was at the time now. But a friend told me, she said, you are worshiping your order and your expectations about Jesus and serving and loving the people right there in your home. And it was like, oh my gosh, you know, here, I love my mom, I love my kids, and I'm freaking out because I don't know what it was. And that just really woke me up. It's like our church's statement, you know, wake the world up to Jesus. That was a wake me up to Jesus moment that, and I know it's easier said than done, but let go of the small stuff. Your life is interruptions. Yeah, it's hard having little toddlers and messes, but you know what? It's kind of like when they said, enjoy the moment. There was this great book that Susan recommended to me, 1,000 Gifts. It's like, see the joy and the beauty in a thing of macaroni and cheese. Or laugh when they go destroy your chocolate cake you want to take to church. You know, I had one of my sons come up one day, look, Mom, you know, he had a handful of chocolate cake. I'm like, that's for church! But it was like, you know what? Laugh at the moments. Be in the moment, and they don't care about the mess. And, you know, give yourself moments to breathe. That helped me to kind of go, wait, my people come first. But loving the Lord, I will reflect that when I love them well. And it's not always going to look the way I want. So I had to sacrifice it's got to look this Ruby's casserole. So let go of that. And your husband doesn't care. Again, Mama set the temperature in the house. And if we're, that old saying, it's so true, if Mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. And, you know, we have a huge privilege and blessing and responsibility in our homes to say yes to the Lord, yes to loving who's God's gifted us with, and let go of the other stuff. And, you know, there's lots of good books out there and advice about setting healthy boundaries. You could talk to any of us to...
Yeah, and Susan always is so good about the temperature, so I was even going to have you piggyback off of that, because I've learned from you a lot in that, about setting the temperature.
Yes. And listen, who's a pleaser out there with me? I'm a pleaser. I want to say yes all the time. You can't do that.
I'm a doer, and you know...
Right.
God made us a human being, not a human doer.
But listen, if you say yes all the time, you're going to be burned out. You will not have joy. And so, and I'm going to empower you that nobody knows where you're at emotionally or empty, you know. Your kids don't know that. Your husband doesn't know that. I know that, I mean, I walked into marriage saying, well, he loves me. He should know exactly, you know, but he is not my girlfriend. He does not read me that way. And so, please, give grace to your husbands. Tell them, this happened today. I got poop all over me today. And I don't feel, you know, like very lovely. And so, hold up naked. I love that. Okay, still working on that.
Shower first, please.
But wait. When to say yes and no? Okay, so say no. She's really good at that, so let's be And then, like, really, my answer to this is the power of prayer. Because it's not going to, it's really, because my first reaction would be to go, oh, is my mom home? You know, can I talk to her? Can I talk to my girlfriends? What should I do? Should I, you know, what? But it's really, God gives you His truth. And He starts to say, you know, I love you so much, even though you have poop on you right now. And you have perspective like nothing else. I can just tell you that. So just find a devotional. The Bible app on your phone, they have all these different kinds of themed, little devotional studies that you can grab onto. I mean, do you like a certain music artist? They have devotionals on there that you can like glean things from. And then, you know, press the read to you button. You don't even have to read it. Or, you know, find a song, crank up that worship music, like Tasha stuff. Crank it up. I heard the prayer song in the car today. Every time I hear that song, I'm in tears. But God can bring us back to how treasured we are and how treasured your kids are. I'm sorry, I'm taking too much time. But, and give you the perspective to go on. Like He helps you find the joy in that daily grind. So ask Him, should I say yes to this or not?
Can I say something? It's good to have a plan to when to say yes. Like, I feel sorry for you guys. You're gonna have to buy your kids cell phones. Don't do it. But make a plan. They're gonna ask you when they're in third grade. Because someone else is gonna have it. Ask Renee. So say, you know what? We get cell phones in 8th grade in our family. You know, can we go here for Christmas? Or we go someplace as a family at Easter. You know, make this plan to when you say yes. And then you have a good, oh no, you can't have that now, but maybe for your birthday, make a list.
Plan sets you up for success. So if
I say no.
you have a plan.
Or send it to me, I'll follow
Shishi, while you still have the mic, would you, because I know Susan touched on this, so we can even go back. So other than using the Bible app, which is the U version, and for those of you that don't know, that you can download on your phones, and I love that app. Other than using that app, what would you guys say would be something that you used when you were in early motherhood to kind of stay connected to the Word and stay connected to devotionals?
It goes back to the table, too. Put something on your kitchen table. You see it, you're there, you're cleaning, you sit down by yourself, you can read it. As a family, you're doing a devotion at the table. That always helps, too.
And then what did you do specifically for just you?
I tried. I kept a Bible in my car, too, so we would wait for the bus. So when we're sitting at the bus waiting, you can read then, or, they're not in school yet, but I spend a lot of time waiting for the kids in my car, and so I would do stuff in my car. And I don't do a whole lot with the phone apps.
I don't know if you have it in your season, but there is a book by Rachel called Creative Correction. I've given it out. I have this microphone. I don't like the 6th time in my life I held a microphone.
Just hold it.
Eat it.
Susan probably has it. Anyways, one thing that was super important to me was when I told the girls something, or my son now, that why? Like, why am I telling you this? Because this is what the Bible says. This is what Jesus says. And the creative correction, literally, you guys, like, you can pick a behavior and it's the scripture that goes with it. And there's so many creative things. I could be here all day. Like, we had, jars of pick a privilege or whatever. Yeah, I mean, literally, I got the book, because now I have the little ones, I got the book back out, like I'm going through it again. And in that, though, is a lot of things that are good reminders, because we all do behaviors, right? And we're going to talk about mirroring behavior, and your kids kind of see what you do. So sometimes when they were doing something and I'm reading through the scripture based upon that, and I was talking through them, I'm like, I felt a little convicted that I was doing it too. So that's a really great reference, like literally all behavior and then scripture to back it up. Like, why? What does the Bible say about this? What does Jesus want us to do?
I love that because it's got references in the back. Did you say that? Sorry, I wasn't listening. And I also loved when she talked about her kids that were, they were hurting each other with their words. So she had the one go out to the tree and nail a nail in, and then they had to apologize and remove the nail. After they apologized, what she said, do you notice what happened to the tree? It's like, okay, so you removed the nail, and forgiveness happened. But there's still a wound there. And so it was a analogy, and I love putting actions to learning. So she's got so many creative ideas, and that's why her friends were like, you gotta write a book. So it's a good one. In fact, I'm giving it away, so it'll be out here.
So you don't all get one, but one of you gets one!
And some more things.
But Amazon has them, I'm sure. We can throw this up on the on our thing, so you can have it out there in the title. Okay, so we're to the end of our questions due to time. So I want to ask one more question to Florence. What do you think? How can we raise resilient children that have grit? Kids that have grit. Like, how can we show them?
Yeah. Well, I think your confidence comes from the Lord, no doubt about it. And teaching them that. I have a son, Michael, he's 25 now, but he lost his hair when he was 7. He has alopecia, and my husband also has it. So he was a kid that got bullied at times because he didn't have any hair. And one thing that I, as a mama, mama bear, we want to step in and, we see somebody looking at our child funny or whatever, and I had to really step back and let him be able to handle those situations on his own. And, that was really hard, of course, because I'm the mom, and, but I did it. I let him speak up for himself and speak for himself, and he did. And one time we were at church, and an older guy came up to him and said, "Hey, nice haircut," And he goes, "It's not a haircut, my hair fell out." So he knew how to respond to it. And even like kids at school, they got where they knew him, and it was Michael at school, But sometimes, we get to middle school, and there were kids that, one kid just punched him, But we would tell them to, use your words, of course, like don't touch me, whatever. But, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to be strong, especially boys. You can't be walked all over. And Michael's a very confident kid. So I think some of that just, certainly, he had a good foundation with Christ, and he's a believer. But he knew, he developed those skills to say, okay, I'm a kid without hair, I'm different, but that's the way I am. And he's even told me, he recently got engaged, and he said, I knew there were girls that wouldn't date me because I didn't have hair. And he's like, oh well, I'm gonna find the right one, and he did, and she's lovely. So yeah, I think you have to have that courage and confidence, because life is tough. I mean, life is hard. We know it. We've all been through things, and but to know who you belong to, our Lord and Savior that loves us more than anything. I mean, to me, that's always given me such a confidence too. So yeah, I say, they have to have that confidence in life. They have to have that grit to get through. Because Jesus tells us we're gonna have troubles. We're gonna have troubles. So yeah, if He's for us, no one can be against us. That's right.
Before I have Susan sign off, because I want you to wrap this up, because we're kind of out of time.
Can I just call my books really quick?
Yeah.
These are, you have to come and get them. So, okay, so there's Creative Corrections. This is a new one by Lisa Turkhurst. It's not supposed to be this way. Boundaries. This is a good book, you guys. Read it many times. Okay. Bringing Up Girls. I'm sorry, I should have brought Bringing Up Boys, but I still need to read it. Present Over Perfect. This is a good book.
Susan does not like books.
The mission of motherhood. I'm sorry, but I think my dog chewed on this one. Listen, she chewed on my back too. I said, I know it says taste and see that the Lord is good, but not literally. But this is really good. Really good. I'm not going to give this one away, but this is on cleaning. I was really bad at cleaning. So she says set a timer for 15 minutes, clean, an area. But she says if you clean your sink every night, and so you wake up to a fresh, clean sink, that's a good one. Okay. This is Levels of Decision, very small, love him. This is Shepherding a Child's Heart by Ted Tripp. This is a really good one. Tracy Nikowski, you were talking about, and I'll post, the mentors have given me, and if you haven't, mentors, text me your favorite book, and one piece of learning advice, and I'm going to put it on our MOPS page, okay, from all the mentors.
Mary Poppins.
What it's like to be married to me, this is, I'm representing Teresa now, and we're going to do this study again. So, but this is, it really focuses on you as a wife, and how God can teach us. One of the things I love about this is Ephesians 4:31-32. And it says, when things are rough in your marriage, and because you know what, I get angry. And so what should I do with that? And it tells me how to talk to that. And you too. And then this is another good one. I'm just reading this now, The Wholehearted Wife. And that's his son. That's his son.
No, can you guys all get these awesome moms in here? Like, awesome. But Susan, I just want to see if you'll pray us out. I am so thankful for you, and I'm thankful for every mentor mom on the stage. You invest so much to your tables and to us, so thank you for that. And thank you for being kind and generous and loving to us.
Yeah, and listen, thank you for those really great questions. We have smarty moms here. Those were great questions. Sorry we didn't take them all, but okay, that's okay. Dear God, we just love the life that you've given us, and we cherish the lives that you allow us to influence. And so right now, we just ask for your wisdom, and I thank you for this time we have together. Thank you for the fun we can share, and just give us a great time around our tables today. And I thank you so much for your friends and how they bless this ministry. And for Christy, I just pray that you would bless her and each leader, each man in this room as we go out. Thank you for the food that we got to eat today, and just keep us safe on the roads. Thank you for hearing our prayers. In Jesus' name, amen. Have fun.